My name is Mario DiSanto,
All right.
and I come from Sicily.
Wait.
And I came in 1949 in this country. So I'm here 50-something years. I don't know, I hope people understand how I'm talking. And we live in New Jersey now. And we're just coming from shopping, because that's the food we're going to keep us up. And I don't know. What do you want to know?
All right, let me see what questions we got here.
What town did you?
Yeah, what town did you grow up in, and what was it like growing up?
Growing up, it was in Brooklyn.
No, you were in Sicily.
You could then, first was Sicily, then
I
Brooklyn.
was 16 years old when I came to this country. And we lived in Brooklyn, West 8th Street. And thank God that's where I've grown up until I got married. I got married in Brooklyn and we moved to Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
No, to Staten Island, I'm sorry, to Staten Island. From Staten Island we moved to Jersey. And now over here with my granddaughter, they got some pictures. I hope everybody understands what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was born in 1932. And
How many brothers and sisters?
I have a brother living in
Long Island.
Long Island. I think I got all my family here, my granddaughters and everybody over here, and we try to do the best.
Mm-hmm.
How many brothers and sisters? You got?
We want 9 brothers and sisters, 4 sisters and 5 brothers. It is all me and my brother left.
And
And thank God everybody's into heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here and we try our best to stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Grandma, you want to talk about your name? What was it like growing up? How many brothers, sisters do you have?
I'm Jeanette DiSanto. I'm the only sister. I have one brother, Tom Coppola, who's married to Dolores, and they have 3 children with grandchildren, and Tom and Dolores were just the proud parents of a great grandchild, their first. I was born in Brooklyn. My sister and I was born a twin. My other sister's name was named Teresina, after my father's mother. I was named Vincenza, after my mom's mother. My Aunt Mary tells us that when we were born, the twins, my mom didn't expect it. So according to my Aunt Mary, the other baby was born first, and I got put in a dresser drawer because they weren't prepared for twins. The other baby, my twin sister, died when she was 9 months old, of dysentery diarrhea, which was an epidemic in the year we were born. My mom was completely surprised that she was having twins. She said to me, when she was pregnant, she was so big, carrying us, that she was ashamed to go outside because all the men would say, "Look at that little woman with a big belly." Today, it's accepted openly. People show their pregnancies, their bellies, but at that time, it was more restricted. I grew up in Brooklyn, and I remember my mom taking my brother to school, and it was called PS 216 on Avenue X in Brooklyn, Avenue X and Gravesend Avenue. And I used to cry when my brother left to school. So one day the principal said to my mom, "Why is she always crying? Why is she unhappy?" And my mother said, "She wants to go to school, but she's too young." So the principal said, "Well, if she wants to go to school, we could take her, but she'll have to stay in kindergarten 2 years." And as far as I remember, somewhere along the line, I was the princess of the kindergarten class one Christmas holiday because I was the biggest one in the class. I graduated
Harley.
from David A. Booty in Brooklyn. Then I went to Central High School Needle Trades in the city, and that was unheard of going into the city at my age years ago. I also wanted to go to the Fashion Institute of Technology. I had gotten a scholarship to attend there, and I was very interested in the garment industry because my mom and my Aunt Mary were fabulous crochet beaders. They worked for all the big designers at the time, Seal Chapman and one of the other gentlemen that were in the design. My Aunt Francie and Aunt Gilda were in the dressmaking, and they were very accomplished people in their industry. I attended FIT, graduated, and found I was going steady with Mario. They would call him Mariano, but somehow it got down to Mario. And he flirted with me on the train station and asked me for my phone number. But we had just moved to East 9th Street, and I really didn't know. I said, "I'll bring it to you tomorrow."
So when I got over there, my mother-in-law told me, "Who you?" I says, "I want to go out with Jeanette." "Yeah, but," says, "you can't speak good English." So I says, "Well, I'm going to try to learn. Maybe you go to school until I learn." He says, "Well, I come here like a special man. I used to know how to fish. Fisherman. My father was a fisherman in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
He had a motorboat, and I'm going to try to copy my father." Well, thank God I don't went fishing. I went to the shoes factory, working the shoes. And that's when I met my wife, Jeanette. And I told my mother-in-law was a special cool man in Italy to make his shoes. And she says, "Why, you nuts?" I says, "No, I'm going to try to go out with your daughter." And that's how we met. And thank God we made it up to now. It's 57 years old. Marriage.
How's it been?
And it been
It's
what can I
been
tell you?
ups and downs.
Up and down, more down than up. But thank God we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
We, after graduation, we got married, and from FIT we were married, and we went away on our honeymoon. We enjoyed Florida, met some nice couples that we hung out with, and I became pregnant of my first child, Katrina. After Katrina, I was told I couldn't go to work. I had to stay home and watch my baby and my children. And after Katrina came Antoinette after 2 years, and after I think 3.5, 4 years came my last child, Salvatore.
Can you tell me how you named them? How did you pick their names?
I picked my daughter's first name. It was understood in the Italian families that the firstborn child would be named either after the husband's mother or the father. So my first child was named Katrina. At that time, I thought it was a very weird type of a name, and we all started to call her Trina because along the line there were about 14 other Trinas born. So it was Trina of Aunt Jeanette. Then came Antoinette, who I wanted to name after my mother. She was a wonderful, wonderful mother, wife, grandmother, as long as she was alive, to my Katrina and Antoinette. She saw Salvatore for a short period. He was 18 months old when she died. And she used to let him play with her coasters in the kitchen when we lived on West State Street. She died young. She was 56. And I promised myself that no matter what, when the time came that I had grandchildren, I would be ever so close to them and enjoy them with all my heart. It seems that my mother was robbed of that privilege. I have 8 wonderful grandchildren, including Alyssa, who's filming our story. I'll go down the line. Kristen is my Gucci. She was the first one. Then came Andrew. Then came Albert. Then came Alyssa. Then came Jacqueline. Then came Melissa. Then came Eric. And then came our family heirloom, Mario DiSanto, who was named after his grandfather.
After me.
And we are now living in Jersey. I am happy. I'm still working. I work just generally 1, maybe 2 days in a week. I worked up in Staten Island, where we lived for 30 years. I worked with Dr. Rosati Costantina, who were heart specialists. Now I'm working for a group of family practice doctors. I love the times that we spend together, and my special holiday is Christmas. We have it here at our house because Grandpa wanted to be the big papa, quote, and he wanted his children under his wing to be able to feel possibly like his father, how his father was with all the children around.
Everybody's happy, thank God.
And everyone up until today has given us the honor of being here for all the holidays. And Christmas Eve, the fish dinners, which always consisted of 7 or more fishes. That's the 7 fishes. And then Christmas Day morning, we meet around 12 here at my new house, and we all open family presents together. Then Trina and Dennis leave and go to Jane and Harry Hart, where they celebrate with Jane and Harry and their child, Kenny, and his family, and I remain with Antoinette and Al and their family, and Salvatore and his family. New Year's Eve is spent here, and the children were always with us every New Year's Eve, up until maybe 2 years ago. And the doctor for whom I worked wanted to know how and what did I do to make such grown children be here at the bells. And I said to him, that was how I was brought up, and my children and grandchildren followed suit. Now we're living a normal life. The holidays of 2012 are over. Looking forward to 2013. I'm hoping that I'll be able to carry on the same tradition, but there are times I do get tired. And right now, I'm sitting down like the queen bee with the kitchen full of shopping that I just walked in. And Alyssa's filming us and trying to get part of the story. My mom had one brother and 3 sisters. My mom was the second oldest. Aunt Mary was the first. Then there was my mother, Lena. Then there was Aunt Francie and Aunt Gilda. After Mom died, Aunt Gilda and Aunt Francie were exceptional, supporting to me as a step-in mom. My dad, Andrew Coppola, was born Andrew Benjamin Coppola, ABC, he used to tell me, in 1904. He was born in northern Italy, and they called it Basilica, the northern part of Italy, Basilica. He came here when he was 4 years old with my grandmother and his sister, Lucille. There were 3 sisters, Lucille, Margie, and Rosie. Aunt Rosie became an extra hand to me when my mother was sick with lymphoma. And she took care of baby Sal. My father, as a youngster, used to tell me he would put newspaper in his shoes, and he had to go sell newspaper under the Brooklyn Bridge to support his family. He was a very intelligent man. He graduated from high school, which I have his high school diploma, and in those days it was like getting a master's degree if you graduated. He did want to be a doctor. He worked in a hospital, but at the child of immigrant parents, they needed him to bring in as much money as he could possibly make. Then he went on, after he married my mom. They were married 40 years, and Mom passed away. He went on to be an inspector for the concrete. He would give you figures on the top of his head. He didn't need no sliding rulers or computers, which were unheard of. He was a mathematician in his day. And he always encouraged Trina, Antoinette, and Sal to go on to school and to better themselves. He was very much for school. I don't know what else to say except that I enjoyed every minute being with my grandchildren. They have kept me young. They make me laugh. Each one is special. The girls are Kristen, Melissa, Alyssa, and Jacqueline. The boys are Andrew, Albert, the president of Bricktown, Eric, the quiet one, and Mario.
Andrew is the shrunken man.
And Mario, who we still have to figure out. So this is what I have to say. I don't know if my interviewer wants any other questions in particular.
Grandpa, do you want to talk about your parents and what it was like to come to America on the boat, and how did you get here? Why'd you
Well,
move?
My father was in America when he was 16 years old. He came in America, and he was working in New York City in the subway. When they made the new subways in New York, when Petrosino, the cop, he was a commissioner in New York. That's a long time ago. Then they opened up a fish store, him and his brother, okay? Him and his brother, and they went in business. And they made the money to go back to Italy because his father got sick. They went to visit his father. Well, lucky he took 3 kids and my mother to Italy to visit the father because he was very sick. And when they got there, the war, Second World War, he was in the...
Erupted.
Huh?
Go ahead.
The Second World War, and he got stuck over, he can't come back here no more. Over here they had a big fish store, him and his brother. His uncle, he took over, and then it went bad because they couldn't take care of it and they had to close. But my father came here after 20-some years after. So that's what I was born. I was born in Italy. Me, 2 sisters and 2 brothers, and me, we were born in Italy. And that's how we came in 1949, 16 in November. It was my birthday. I was 16 years old. And thank God I'm here. I'm still alive.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. Very good. Let me see if I could pick anything else. Grandpa, can you tell a Chicago joke?
Yes. Chicago is spelled chicken at the car, and the car can't go.
Very good. And
How's that?
Very good. How about the songs that you guys sing? I remember.
Santa, Santa.
Yeah, sing some of the songs.
Sings.
What's the other one?
Santa.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na-na-na. Vene ka-pa-pa-pa.
Battimanini gavena papà, porta cose sini va, porta menno lenno scidi, paccodarli piccirini.
Now translate that.
Oh, wait a minute.
Santa, Santa.
Sera Massago, una scopetta e una pistola, un petto di maccarone e ne mangiamo tutti e 2.
Very good.
Those are 2 old sayings.
It is important. You go see the film,
Yep.
like?
After.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
After. I want to say extra that every one of my grandchildren has brought me joy and pride. Every one. Every 8 of them. And they're all special in their own way. I cannot compare that one is smarter, one is better. They're all special. They're individuals who act on their own. And I'm happy to see that they're firm in their decisions and they make choices that they think are better for them. Sometimes they may be a little wrong, but generally their choices are fairly normal. I hope that God gives me the grace to be able to see some of them married. And on that day, even if I'm not here, I will be with them, like Grandpa was with Trina and Antoinette and Sal when they married. And all that ends well. Grandpa and I will be married 58 years in April 21st. And that was the same date, April 21st, that I picked because I had so much love for my brother and Dolores. That was their wedding day too. They're
And-
now married over 60 years with God's help.
All right, wait a minute. I said 57. I was asleep for 1 year. He said 58
No, we're going to be
58 in April.
I said in
in April.
Yeah.
And I got one more song. Can I sing one more
Yeah.
song?
Say whatever you want to say.
Avevano scicaredo che bene saborito a mia me l'ammazzarono povero cieco mio aveva della voce pareva un grande nuri scicaredo di lume cori come io dai ascoltare.
That song
Okay.
was about a donkey that somebody killed, and his heart is crying for that little donkey.
Very good. Anything else you guys want to say before I shut it off? How about your boat, Grandpa? You like going fishing, right?
Well, I have it. This is good too. We left in that Palermo, 1949. First Palermo, first in November. We got over here in the 16th November, right? And I wish when I was in the boat, I drove up for 18 years to study day and night.
18 days.
18 days, day and night, right? But yeah, I wish when I got over here, to buy a boat, to go to work, making money to buy a house, and to meet a beautiful lady, which I did. I did all that. And I've been have a boat all these years since I'm in America. And that's no lie. So I was a fisherman when my father was a young kid in Italy, and I become a fisherman here, not to make money, but to spend the money to buy gas. Thank you.
Very good.
Bye-bye.
Mario quote DiSanto, born November 1st, 1932. Jeanette Vincenza, I will explain that. Coppola was born May 5th, 1935. I was named after my father's mother. No, sorry, I was named after my mother's mother. Her name was Vincenza. All through school, I was called Jeanette. That's what was put on some of my papers, because at that time, Vincenza was not heard of. So I had to have a change legally a couple of years ago to Jeanette, because we were going on another European tour to Italy, and I had problems between Jeanette and Vincenza. My father's mother's name was Teresina Coppola, and my father's father's name was Alexander. Gaetano Alexander. And that's all I can think of, and I'm sure Alyssa may have other questions. She's free to ask us.
Hope we did all right.
Very good, yes.
Wait,
You answered a lot of these questions as you were going. How is life now different than when you grew up? The technology and all that
life
stuff.
is very different now. When I was young, and we lived on Lake Street with my mom and my father. The front of the house was gated in, and at that time I was a girl. I couldn't go be outside the gate because all the boys and girls that were growing up my age, they were all playing in the street, and I wasn't allowed, I don't remember the age, outside of the gate because my father did not want me playing with boys. At that time, when I was old enough, I went to junior high school, and we used to walk. There was no such thing as hopping in the car and driving to school. We walked in the snow and cold and sunshine, and then I would have to go to my grandmother and grandfather, who lived 2 blocks away, for lunch.
Any last words you want to say?
Goodbye.
Bye. I just hope that
Any-
you all remember me as a gracious lady, kind and caring about everyone. Thank you. And Grandpa, too.
I don't know how long we're going to be here because I'm 80 years old. I'm going to be 81 on November 1st, All Saints' Day, 1932. That was my birthday. Thank you.
All right, ciao.
Smile,
Thank you, that's all.
take care, and laugh and cry at the same time.
All right. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.